write about. Trying to figure out what it's all about. Existentialist. Am I worth anything or just discount? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
Spending time all alone, sending more songs to the phone, dreaming of a better home, while focused on trying to hone this craft, witchcraft. I hope the Brujas let this last.
I don't know if the earth is painted blue.
That was the great sounds of Watson with Outside on WNHH LP 103.5 FM New Haven. Myself, Prestige, with my partner in crime, Long Island raised, Elm City made, EZ Bluez is in the building. EZ Bluez, you are better with introductions more than me. Who do we have with us today on Behind the Brand?
Before we start that, let's just say happy holidays. But also, I'm kind of feeling a little retro right now. So as we like to have the 90s flair every once in a while, so you got to be a little retro. And this person right here is perfect for the retro type of feel to it today. So I'll be real Max Headroom with this. And this Saturday, you can come outside of the beer racks to see this man's band play, and it's going to be fantastic. The first time I saw these guys play, they were playing in a basement. That's right, in a basement. And they were flailing around, throwing things. The man was beating on his guitar, just beating on his guitar, and it was fantastic. It was amazing. So ladies and gentlemen, this Saturday, you can see him at Beer Racks. That's the 30th of February, Beer Racks. Put your hands together for the owner of TRL Records. Hank, what's up, brother? How are you?
Hi, Dustin. I'm good. Thanks for having me. This is like my second interview ever. I'm so shy.
It's all right, bro. Well, that's look, man. That's why we open up kind of like with that joke aspect. You and I've had many conversations. We're just people having conversations, having a good old time. You know, there is no pressure here. The only pressure is the language. Mind the language. All right. But sans all that, let the people know a little bit about you now. You're actually in this band 30th of February. That for the real people that have grown up through this scene, and there's a lot of people added to the scene. I'm not saying they're not real. I'm not diminishing their effect on the scene. But I'm saying for the people who've grown up through it, the people who knew what ATC was, which was the Amity Teen Center, a place where kids could go and like express themselves musically. That's kind of where you guys came out of.
Yep. That was our earliest shows where we got used to playing in front of people. Even if there wasn't anybody there, just being on a stage and getting used to being a band was how we developed. And that was fine with us. We just had a good time, and we still have a good time 15 years later.
Well, and that's what's incredible, and I love that. And I hope, one, more acts will do that, but I really love the fact that, you know, as youth, you guys had the Amity Teen Center to really engage in that. And then I think, you know, I'm a big advocate for the arts. I do feel that the times that we as a society have thrived has been when the arts has been leading the way. You know, where, you know, there's some of the most incredible mathematicians I've ever seen in my entire life are hecka guitar players, man. Like that, you know, and there is just such a beautiful translation between the two. You guys have this raw energy to you. Some people will say it kind of has that sub pop, grunge-esque type of sound. What do you categorize yourself?
So that's definitely a big part of us. I mean, I like most musicians, I got into Nirvana when I was in high school, and you know, I was like, oh man, this is what I want to sound like. Soundgarden. I'm old enough to have been little when that was all going on, so I remember hearing these songs on the radio when they were still popular music, and that was my upbringing. But also my parents' music, like Fleetwood Mac and Led Zeppelin. I'm all the great guitar players are where I started. Now I feel like we've grown. We're not obviously not the same band we were when we started. I like to. It's hard for us to genre ourselves. We say space rock. I hate saying post grunge, you know, but it's turned into such a derogatory phrase. I feel, but everything's post grunge, as one of my friends puts it.
Right.
I I don't know. We're us. I've never been really able to nail down a an exact, name for us because we have different influences and we have songs on the same record that don't sound anything like one another. It just because I just whatever comes out. And the thing about 30th is we've never had to worry about adhering to something. We've just been ourselves, and I'm very proud of that.
I absolutely love that, and I think it's incredible. And how much when people like throw the post grunge and stuff, that hurts my heart and makes me cringe as well. As an act that's been categorized in that same type of field, it hurts my heart too. I got you, but also I love the fact that it's completely an organic aspect of it. And one of the other things I wanted to talk about really is you guys really adopted the punk aspect of we do everything ourselves. You guys are DIY, your own record label. And look, for those things, the man's not going to give you a stack of honeys. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no chains around his neck or anything like that. These guys are showing up in a minivan, with the shirts that they've made or that one of their friends has made. It is, this 100% organic, just fun, self-made aspect of it that carries itself through. Do you think that is what's giving you guys the freedom to explore the sounds you guys are currently dealing with?
Definitely, because again, we're out there, we're just being ourselves. We're doing it for us, and we're not trying to compromise that. And that's the whole punk ethic, which I was also huge into punk when I was in high school. I wanted to do like a Black Flag kind of band that I never got to do, but me and Kevin have been talking about it lately again. Just having fun with that. Anyway, I just love that ethic, It's doing it for the music, not for anything else, because that's what fulfills me personally. That's what gets me through my life, my day to day is music. That's all I think about, Need it.
And that's the most incredible thing, when you're able to fully express that. Now, again, for those that are listening at home, it's not like he's rolling in the fanciest cars or anything like that.
Got a 2004 Ford Taurus.
There you go, 2004 Ford Taurus, rolling deep. We're here on his, WNHH cribs, and you can see the vintage wallpaper in the back. Only the best. I guarantee you there's somewhere in that place there is a mattress on the floor, because that's what punk rock is. But these are the sacrifices that you make for your art. It's not like you're sitting here and you just are dealing with this as your source of income. You made sure you go out and you're working, but you are working kind of 3 full-time jobs, because not only are you working your, normal life job, but then you're switching up to be Batman, rocking out in the rock band, and then you're switching up to be Alfred to make sure everything runs correctly, and promoting shows and different things like that. What is that like on your humanness? Like, what is that like on your soul?
Right. So, obviously, nobody wants to do their 9 to 5 when they could be doing music, but I gotta do it. What am I gonna do? I can't afford stuff for TLR or the band without a job. So that's what that is. But in terms of the band and running shows, it's just so much fun. It doesn't feel like work. I think in the more recent time, the only time that we have played on a show that I haven't run is with you guys in Shame Penguin. We haven't really jumped on other people's shows in a while. I've just gotten so used to just throwing the show together and making it happen, because it's what I love to do. It's also good to know. I hate not knowing. Like things go wrong sometimes when you play on other people's shows, or when you don't know the other bands at the shows you're playing. And that doesn't mean I'm doing that. I people ask me, we always almost always say yes.
Mhm.
We just want to play, but it's just less stressful to run the show and play for me than to just play, I think.
No, I 100% agree. As someone who puts on shows myself, any show, even if I'm not playing, any show that I show up to, I see the stuff that starts to go off the tracks, and it happens just for anything. And people run to me. They're like, "Well, this is going on. What are you gonna do?" It's like, "Yo, I paid to get in, bro. I don't know why you're talking to me. Like, I'm here to enjoy the show."
It's not my
So you
show.
have those, yeah, and you have those moments, where it's just like, oh, this could have been here, or this could have been there, or playing on shows that other people put together. Then you're running all the different things. Oh, I would have done it different. Like, no matter what, that like inner hater just comes out. That water cooler bully is just like, well, I could have totally have done that totally differently, and that's not how this would have went down if I did it, because that's not the way it goes. These are just, and you and I are probably two of the most laid back human beings, like when it comes to stuff like this, and it happens for us. I can only imagine, like, for what it happens to the people that make a living off of being promoters. It must drive them crazy, Now that you've moved forward, you've taken the time, even during the pandemic, to release music and to continue to put out, some incredible shows. You did some house shows completely within regulation. Taking it extremely seriously, which is amazing to see. But you've got new stuff coming through. You've got a brand new thing coming out shortly. Talk about that.
Well, 30th is, we're currently recording. We're starting to record what'll be our next EP after Stella Nova, which was, unfortunately, we released Stella Nova the month before lockdown started, and we got to play one show, like promoting it. And it was just like, oh yeah, and Penguin Party, remember that? That was the very last show.
That was the very last show any of us played. Was the Penguin Party? How rare.
We had no idea. And it's same thing. My other band, GVC, Glenn Very Close, we released our first EP in the middle of the pandemic, and it was just like, now it's been a year, and it's just like, well, what do we do from here? We're going to start on the next thing as well. But 30th, we're actually working on tracking. I hope we can have like a single out by earlier this coming year, and EP hopefully by summertime. It's just like, this isn't the longest gap we've had in releasing, but we definitely took some time to work on and figure out what we were going forward, because up until this point, let's see, we've got 3 records. The first one, those songs were recorded, most of them as they were written, but Silence and Stella Nova has older songs that we've been playing for years already, which is why we're not as bummed that we're not going to continue playing out Stella Nova, because we've played Stella Nova.
Right.
This next record is going to have some brand new songs that we haven't even played live yet.
Nice.
It is nice on WNHH LP 103.5 FM New Haven. Myself, Prestige, and my partner in crime, Long Island Raised, Elm City made EZ Bluez is in the building. We got Ant with us on Behind the Brand. Continue easy.
Well, that's, I love how you mentioned that having to take the break, and the repercussions, because a lot of people, obviously dealing with the pandemic, everyone had life repercussions. And for musicians, we don't make money off of the distribution of our records. We don't. 9 times out of 10, if we're not signed to a label, and even if you are signed to a label, you're making no money off of that. The way you generate income is by touring. Going out there and playing as many shows as humanly possible. So when you release a record, you want to get out there and you really want to feel, these songs come to life. You weren't able to do that.
Right.
But you took the time and you honed your skills, you honed your craft, and that's what these next records are. And I'm really, really excited for a lot of new music to be released. Because there's so many people who had that opportunity to just sit back and just fine tune a little bit. And I just saw Fat Astronaut play at the State House for Thanksgiving, and hearing a song like, my favorite song of theirs, Ain't No Mayo in Heaven, because it's true. They fine-tuned it just a little bit, and they brought the hook just in this different direction, and it feels so much different. And it's so, it has so much more to it. And that's really what's going on now. I can't wait. I can't wait for the new 30th of February stuff to come through, because I know, like, I've been on bills with you guys. I love your energy. I love your composition. I always have. But what makes you hit those moments? Because, like, I know for me, what makes me go over the edge performance-wise, but what brings that out of you? Like, what makes you take that, all that aggression and everything you have from that day or that week, and channel it through your guitar, and so much so, like, shaking it or beating it into the ground? What brings that out of you?
Well, so music is how I express myself. Like I said before, it's been, I guess the way to put it, my drug since I was 14 years old. And when life is hard sometimes. Life sucks. Some of these songs, depending on the song, I do more often than not tend to write from a personal place. I mean, sometimes there'll be little stories, and some lyrics will just be singular. Well, it's like Nirvana. Kurt wouldn't always have the song be about one thing. There would be journal, essentially his journal. So my music, I also feel, is like my journal. So playing it, I get to feel that, where I was when I wrote the song, and I get to live that. And sometimes it's a positive, and sometimes it's a hard song. It was a hard thing that I went through. So playing it, I'm able to be emotional with my playing. Like, we have a song called Medicate, which means a lot to me, that we don't play very much, but we released it as a single. And I wrote that song after my best friend passed away from overdosing. And that's it's yeah, the hard song, but it's an important song to me, and I do love playing it. And at the end of the song, me and Kevin are almost, it starts so soft, and gradually the song gets louder, and till the end it explodes, and me and Kevin are just like yelling it out. And I do the closest thing that I guess I do to a scream, like a hardcore, kind of
Right.
like band. And it's I just feel it every time.
No, that is, thank you so much for being open and sharing that, because it's what a lot of people don't really understand. Look, even your most popular music, everyone right now can pull out their phone. Not if you're watching the show, you stay and you wait until the end of the show and you pull out your phone and take a look at it. But, like, if you're not watching the show, if you're listening to us on the radio, pull out your phone right now and look in your playlist, and you can go through and you can look on there, and that song, that When You Met Your Sweetheart, that song, and all these things evoke that emotion in you. But people forget that evokes the same emotion in the person that wrote it. People can forget that there's a human being that wrote that. So when we do perform it, and when we are allowed, because for a lot of the creatives, we're not necessarily allowed to vent, and especially, whatever, stigmas and all that kind of stuff. But, when you're not given the opportunity to vent or express how you truly feel, so often, when you're told to suck it up and be quiet, when you're told, you suffer in silence and that's the only way to go, when you're told that and that's beaten into you, having those moments on stage where you can let it out are so important. And hopefully, those are those moments when, if you're in the audience, lean in just a little bit harder, pay attention just a little bit more, because that's a heartbreak that could elevate, and it's a beautiful thing. So thank you so much for that. And actually, it's one of my favorite tracks. I am a huge fan of yours, as we could tell. I sing your praises all of the time. When you guys were at our first show, like that was our first show ever. You know, and it was a complete happenstance type of thing to do, but you guys gave us the confidence, you know, when we finished and you guys were like, you know, oh, yo, that was great. Can we open for you guys? I was like, what, bro? This is show one, homie. Like, I don't even know. Like, I don't even know if we like each other right now. I don't even know what's going on. Like we just met in a back alley. I'm not sure what's going on today. But you know, it was that confidence that, you know, put us back in there and helped, you know, and when it seemed like a lot of other bands were moving in different directions, you're always there to pick up whatever, you know, band you can like fully pour love into. I've seen most of your bills are so diverse, but there's such a family aspect of it. Where do these relationships, like, is it just because you see them and you musically fall in love, like when our eyes first met, you know, or, you know, was it, you know, is it a thing where you do the research and you're like, you know, I don't picture you as a calculated like person who watches streams. So I want to know where you're like, hey, this is a band that I want to invest my time in.
Well, okay. So when we started doing, you know, doing our own shows, I tried to pull from bands that we had played with in the past that I just enjoyed. Like I love our local scene. I love local bands of Connecticut. I listen to bands like I listen to, you know, action, you know what I mean by actual music, but like non-CT music, a radio music. Like I just have fall in love with these songs, like you were saying, like you guys, like when I first heard you, I was like, wow, you know, this is like so interesting. I felt it, you know, like you're being yourselves, and that's the kind of bands that I tend to gravitate towards, bands that are themselves, who aren't trying to follow any trends. And you know, I'm not putting anyone down who does, because hey, you got to make money too sometimes, you know, like I have nothing against the current alternative sound that you would hear on, let's say, what's that alternative station that's you know, the one that's on the radio.
We only listen to WNHH here. We only listen
exactly.
to WNHH.
I'm not
right,
naming
easy.
it, you know. But for example, that stuff, and you know, some of that stuff is still good. Music is music. It doesn't have to be the music that I like for it to be good. And I have grown to appreciate stuff a lot more than I did when I was younger, when I was punk rock or die. But as we've grown, I've started to pay more attention to social media, because I feel like such an old person sometimes on these things, and I'm just learning about Instagram. Like Rosie has been teaching me about Instagram for the past month, 2 months, as helping with PLR. And I've learned about stories. Now I post stories every other day. I didn't know what a story was, you know, 2 months ago. So I'm watching other bands' stories, and I'm listening to their music that they post, and I'm trying to widen our family, our TLR, you know, the scene, the bands we want to associate with, so that we're not just booking all of my, because that's not fair. Everybody deserves to be able to get a gig. And that comes to the reason why I started doing TLR was I wanted to help. You know, when I was younger, I wished that there was someone in the scene who could have helped us, because we didn't know. We just did us, and we operated it independently from what was going on. And while that's, you know, punk and DIY, it's also unfortunate that nobody had really heard us until, you know, we started. You know, we've got to start playing ball. We got to start hanging out. We got to start building this scene together, so that nobody else ever feels that way. None of the next generation. I want to encourage the next generation, local bands, still be doing this. And sometimes it's as easy as helping get a show. Sometimes it's hard to get a show. Even as us now, you know, answering email. like it doesn't always work out, but you got to keep trying. And I've learned I have a lot more I have a lot more not patience, but I don't give up
Tolerance.
as easy as I did when I was, a teenager. I was just, this is
Perseverance.
perseverance.
There we go.
There you go. God, I've been out of school.
Yay, gold star me. No,
So,
but but that's a lot to do with when you are in this industry and you are trying to make it. You need, you need that perseverance. You need to, they say it in sales. There for every yes, you have to go through like 9 no's.
right.
And if you're good at it, So I've had a door slam so many times in my face, my nose started to look like Sylvester Stallone in Rocky. But it's as simple as changing a scene, changing your attitude, changing, your sound, or kind of just completely giving in to, what the universe is putting out there is the things you need to do. And I love that you are really made it this all-inclusive aspect of it. Because from what other people don't know, if you don't know 30th of February, I guarantee you know 30th of February. Because without 30th of February, Growlix doesn't come across people's, flip list. Eddie Crash, who's doing phenomenal things right now. His new project. Yeah, Space Station, his new project is just ridiculous. But these are all people that had roots in what, in 30th of February at some point in time. You guys are you have become that band. And I don't know if you realize that, you have become to this scene very similar to like a Fugazi. And I mean that with all the love in the world. And I also will say this because I didn't get a chance to say it prior when you were speaking about your Instagram. Shout out to Rosie. She has been killing it with your promo lately. I just wanted to take this moment to give her roses on the air. Rosie, here are your roses. This is incredible. You're doing awesome. I love the back and forth. Always great for communication too. Always great with the new flyer when it pops out. Because you guys with COVID, we've had to book so far in advance. It becomes kind of like a revolving door for a bill. You're like, okay, a month and a half ago when I booked this bill, I had these 4 bands, but things have happened, and now we have these 4 bands. But I'm still going to play the show, so it's still going to be fun. And that is kind of what happens now. But I really wanted to give you full props. Shout out for getting The Problem with Kids today is like one of the most talked about New Haven bands out there right now. And you land them for Saturday. How did that happen? Were you playing with them before? Did you know them, or did you just take that, Instagram shot in the dark?
I'm excited about that because I've heard a lot of buzz about them. I've listened to their stuff that they put out. So what happened with this show was another a band that we are friends with, Big Psy, share the same drummer as Problem with Kids today. And they had a show somewhere else, same night, that I guess it was canceled or a band dropped. So they didn't have enough bands. And Peter reached out to me, said, "Hey, you wanna have us on?" And I was like, that looks like such a stacked bill, right? And a Problem with Kids today. I'm really excited to play with them.
Well, and from an energy point of view, this might be one of the most excited I've been in a very long time, because we get to like feed off of your energy, and then we're gonna wrap it up in our Dragon Ball Z type of thing going on here, and we're just gonna like hop top Tayukin it over to The Problem with Kids today. And if Beer Racks is still standing, I will be shocked.
Yay.
It's going to be, it is the end. Not only that, but it's not just a show. What is it? Why don't you tell the audience at home what they're in for this Saturday?
It's a ugly sweater party. So come wearing your ugly sweater and you get in for $5. And we're going to do a costume I'm thinking of the Halloween show still. We're gonna do a contest. So we're gonna award the cutest and ugliest sweater. I think we're gonna do a merch bundle as the prize, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we got you.
All the bands are gonna pile in, and we're good. That'll be the prize. A bunch of cool local band merch.
Yeah.
For a whole day of great local music, I think that's a pretty cool thing. If I wasn't involved, I'd go.
But that's the thing, and that's what I really love about this is you book shows from the music appreciation aspect of it too. You're as much as you are a business person, and as much as you are, a musician and a performer, you're also a fan of music. And you book these shows to have fun at. I tell people all the time, especially when people start to get worried. People start to get worried. They start to really. Totally lost my train of thought. I got a message. Lost my train of thought. Okay, but I tell people all the time when they get worried, like trying to perform. I was like, hey, it's called playing music for a reason. It's supposed to be fun, And although what you and I do on stage is very emotional, but it is that gives us our fun. That is those moments of when I can give you my whole heart and soul, and have about 4 deaths on stage at one point in time, like it's a Macbeth play. Then and only then can I smile afterwards. But don't talk to me right after or touch me. But like in like a half hour or so, when I finally calm down a bit, we can have a conversation. Yeah, but like that half hour, first I'm gonna be like, I'm sweaty. You're gonna be like, I don't care. I was like, yeah, but no touchy. But am I wrong?
No, exactly. It's like I gotta come back to earth, before I can talk yet. I also gotta get my stuff off the stage.
Yeah. that is key, and it's even funnier, like being the singer aspect, where I just have my microphone, and thank God I have my microphone, so it does look like I have to take something off stage. But then people are like, oh, we're just gonna talk to you. I was like, no, but seriously, I gotta help the rest of the band. Like I have things that I have to get done. I have no problem with one person just keeps coming. I was like, look, I don't go to your office, and I don't like sit on your desk and touch your phone. I don't do that when you're at work. I'm at work right now. I'll be off of work in about 15 minutes. Give me 15 minutes. You're gonna have to get me on my coffee break, and it's probably gonna be an Irish coffee. But it happens. But these are the incredible stories of playing out. Now, what is your most memorable show that you have ever played?
Well, there's been a lot. That's a real hard one.
Well, I want to do it.
Behind the Brand, your most memorable show on WNHHLP 103.5 FM New Haven. Myself, Prestige, and my partner in crime, Long Island Raised, Elm City made EZ Bluez in the building. And I hope you didn't lose your train of thought on Behind the Brand. Go right ahead.
My favorite show. Okay.
Yeah.
Boy, there's just I feel like it would be such a disservice to not mention like one and pick one or the other, because every night is special. Even the smallest little ATC show could have been the best show we ever had, and it would still be important to us. Or it could have been we've played College Street. I guess the most like personal, like wow moment that I can remember is when we played at College Street, because we got far enough in the Battle of the Bands at the and I got to play on a stage that I got to watch some of my favorite bands ever play on, like Modest Mouse and Silver Sun Pickups. I got to play on the same stage, and that was like that moment to me. It's like, wow, we did it. And we've played Toads back in the day when Toads was, I mean, Toads is still cool. I think I'd love to go back to Toads, by the way.
Nice.
man, there was a show in the ATC days that I always look back on. It's over 10 years ago now, where I played in my underwear and a Superman cape, and it was at the time one of one of our best shows from that era, because our band goes through different eras. We've had a lot of different band members. At the core, it's been me, Dylan, and Kevin for the past 10 years. But even having each member, they brought something different to the table. So that era was like our real punk era. And that's why I did the boxers and Superman thing. And we tore through that set. People got on stage with us and danced. And I remember that made me really happy because we were still kind of new, we were still fresh. It was like when people started to acknowledge us, and it was just a special moment earlier on that I still remember, 10 years later, like clear. I even remember some of the set. I guess I know there's been a long answer, but
No,
every show is my favorite show. How's that?
There you go. Well, because the quick answer, you know what my favorite show is? The next one. There you go. Hey, this Saturday. Oh, well done. I wasn't even, and I'm usually the first person to do that. That's great.
I'm learning from you.
There you go.
You're such a
Pulling
good
up a little bit of P.T. Barnum every once in a while. It works out. It works out well.
Sunday.
But this is the truest aspect. We've spoken with a lot of musicians. We've spoken with a lot of acts on here, and what is the tie that binds them all together is this love and this passion. You are a very interesting human being because this isn't a part-time thing for you. This isn't, a hobby. This is 100% who you are. And so, I'm going to give you your flowers, get tissue if you need it for a second, take a second. But who you are is a very beautiful human being. The love and the honor and the just complete and total support you give every single act that comes your way is just incredible. The passion in which you attack a song or the stage with this childlike exuberance is just a beautiful thing to watch. And it has been an honor and a privilege to know you and to play music with you. And I really want you to know just how much I appreciate you.
Thanks, Dustin. I wish I could give you a hug right now.
Elbow. There you go. Oh, internet hug. All right.
That means a lot. Thank you.
Of course. So I just wanted to give you that. One last thing coming up into the future, right? You've got some things in the works. You've got a couple projects that you're rocking and rolling with. But what do you see 2022 looking like for your label, for your band, and for you as a human?
Well, we'll say for TLR, we are definitely looking to. We've been ramping up the past few months in preparation. Now we've got some more help with Rosie stepping up. So we're just going to keep going at it with shows. We're just putting shows together. Not only that, but finally, after years of planning and just wishing it, we're going to have the studio. TLR Records, TLR Records is going to be the name of the studio. TLR Records Studio sounds a little long-winded. Anyway, me and Kevin have, ever since we self-produced our first record, Resist Futile, we have wanted to do our own studio. Kevin is just like a mastermind behind the desk. That's what he does. My favorite sound man, no offense to anyone else in the world, but Kevin just makes magic when he's behind a board, and that includes in the studio as well. So the record we're working on is going to be self-produced, and it's our practice to finally be ready. Studio. We're also currently recording Matter of Fact next release. Well, actually, his Christmas song will be out tomorrow that we did. So that'll be a taste of that, matter of fact. And so this, sorry, I'm saying Almala. The studio is just like something I've dreamed of putting together, and it's looking like it'll finally be able to happen this coming year. So I'm very excited about that. Live, that's the studio. For 30th, we're, like I said, we're just gonna work on the next record until we're happy with it, and then we'll release it and we'll get back to playing. This show is gonna be the last show until then, though. We're gonna take this recording break seriously, and we're gonna craft the next generation of 30th songs. That we can just, that's what we like to do. We play these songs over and over until we don't even have to think about it. We don't even have to have practice. We should, of course. Practice is important, kids. Don't skip out and think you don't need to have practice. But if we're not able to get together, we still we just have this chemistry, the three of us, Kevin and that I can't even describe. It's just like being on stage with them. We just do it. It comes from inside of us, and we just do it. You know. So next 30th record, and then that was the rest of the question.
It's awesome, man. You hit everything you needed to hit. Trust on that. But unfortunately, with all these things, once we get into a good rhythm, everything starts to wind down a little bit. We want to give you this opportunity to tell everybody how they can get in contact with you, learn about, what you've got coming up. How can people get into the Ant game? Let them know who you are and how to get in touch with you consensually.
Okay. So for Instagram, we've got TLR Records CT. You can message us anytime. There's no business hours. We're open all the time. If I'm working, answer it as soon as I can, but I'll always get back to you. Send me your stuff. I don't even care. I don't even have to think about it. You just send it to me. I will more than willing to listen, no matter what. It's also my personal Instagram. I don't mind Cashlin the Goose 93. Can't get through to the TLR one. I'm at least always logged into that. Facebook, we've got TLR Records right on Facebook. I post pretty regularly lately now that we've got some more team members. Yeah, and email tlrrecordsct@gmail.com. Send your submission, send your videos, talk to us. Even if you don't have anything to send, if you don't have any recordings, that's fine. I just like talking about music, and I'm happy to talk about music because what I love to do, what I'm passionate about, and you are too. We're gonna get along fine.
Speaking of music, we have your track "Frustrated" here on the program. We're looking forward to hear that. Thank you for your time, Ant. We appreciate you. Myself, Prestige, and my partner in crime, Long Island Raised, Elm City made EZ Bluez is in the building, and this has been Behind the Brand. Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
No problem.
I wish you were here. So frustrated by it. I'll be okay. I'll be okay, my love. Show me where to go. 'Cause I can't do this on my own. Last as long as we can. Hopefully you'll still be up there. Show me where to go. I can't do this on my own. It lasts as long as we can. You still love me still. I fall apart, but not for you. Do you feel like I do too? When I'm tired of growing up, I may not way back home.
Oh,